Here it is, guys. Me doing ovens. And first thing I'm doing here is I'm throwing the Detroits in. It's probably 3 or 4 o'clock. The rush is kind of starting, but nothing serious yet. We got Bronx Johnny making pies, who's fantastic. I would not do this video with anybody mediocre making pizzas. This guy is like a 40-year vet making pies in New York. He taught me a lot. He's one of my mentors. But we brainstormed together and we helped get the station to where it is. So, yep, this is a Rotaflex oven. All of these Detroits have been proofing since about 9:30 to 10 a.m. and it's about 4 p.m. They are all ready to go in. So I throw quite a few in, leaving some room to throw more pizzas in. Here's one that I'm gonna pull. So I'm doing both, kind of cooking off these Detroits and whatever pizzas are in there. And on the oven side, I use gloves because I'm touching food after it comes out of the oven. You can see here I got my white cutter for white pies so I don't get red sauce on them. And I got my red cutter for red sauces. And yeah, I cut the pies, I put them in the box they're supposed to go to, and complete orders. And that's easier said than done when you got a bunch of orders and sometimes things take different times to cook. Oh, there's my baby right there. I'm doing all this with her distracting me, so keep that in mind. But yeah, putting orders together, and I'm always keeping my brain on the oven because the oven will not wait on anybody. So while those Detroit par bakes are finishing, I kind of just start getting ready for the next wave of them. And today we did 24, just the same way I did the video of making them when I did 48. And you can see they start about the thickness of those lids I'm putting there, and then they come out to be 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick, full of air. Same kind of dough as the other video when I made them from last week, where it's borderline overproofed, but not completely, and it still rises up again. Coming really nice and airy, and you could smell the fermentation. It's a really, really nice product. But yeah, I basically fill up as much as I can into the oven, and then I have full sheet pans with wire racks that I flip them onto, and on a full sheet pan I can fit 4 of these. So I will put each sheet pan with a wire rack and 4 Detroits on one rack of the speed rack, or one level of the speed rack, until, in this case, I have 6 full sheet pans to make 24, or 12 if I'm doing 48. And it's a really quick way to cool all of this and kind of organize. And so when they come out, you'll see another concern of mine is cooling the pans, because let's say I only have a few Lloyd's pans for making orders. If I get the ones cooled from cooking them off fast enough, I always have something to use that's not going to burn my hands. I just like keeping a rotation of the hot pans and the cold pans. And yep, gotta be attentive. So Johnny has some old school New York ways of marking pies, just like on the last video when you saw me cut the cornichone a little bit. For extra cheese, he likes to do a little dollop of sauce in the middle. And it does help when there is 9 large cheese pies in the oven and one of them's extra cheese. It's good to be able to see which one is which. Also, these stickers and the digital bump screen are awesome. If you have a networking or a tech guy, Ethernet guy around, I recommend putting this in your restaurant, as it helps in so many ways. You don't have to organize a bunch of...
Hey, Evan, what are you doing over there? Are you freaking cooking over there? What are you doing, huh?
Huh?
Oh, are you
I'm working here. I can't work. I need silence.
Alright, so here I continue pulling some of these out. And the name of the game is once they get like any color, I know that they're ready. If they're still white, they're probably going to be doughy and deflate. But once they have like the first sign of color, these things are done as far as par baking goes. And I've seen people say you should par bake things at 300 degrees or 300 to 400. I don't believe in that. I think it gets it expands nicer at a higher temperature. It's just about how far you cook it, really. But yeah, too low of a temperature, you're getting something that can be really dry. You might want that in some cases, but I think just going from a par bake itself will answer that. But here's a very nice Bronx Johnny pie. Looks like half runny mushroom, half cheese. Right down the middle, perfect halves. Bronx Johnny is one of the best pizza maker I've ever seen. He's better than me when it comes to the middle of the rush. He's about 60 years old, and he can make any amount of pies in any amount of time, and he's basically a printer. Every single one of his pies.
It's a good looking pie. Look at this pizza. You see the pizza?
Beautiful.
This is what you call a butcher.
A
Meaning
butcher
all
shop.
the meat. It's a meat lover.
And it's vegan.
It is a meat lover. Look, check it out, brother. Check
Hey,
it out.
beautiful.
Look at the way you put it. Look. Wham! You saw that?
Perfect.
As far as the consulting goes, I had a call where I ultimately believe that what my expertise are would be obsolete, as there's a store where he's making all the money that he can make, and he's doesn't really need to add anything to the menu. He's got the dough situation figured out, already making a great profit, but the problems are kind of in today's world as far as the labor market and things like that. The options you have as employees in a big city is different than a small town, and that's not something that I can solve, so I'm not going to ask for any kind of money for that. But I tried to give him whatever pointers I could in the time that we spoke, and I mean, if you can't tell by my YouTube channel, I love helping people, period. Whether I get a kickback from it or not, I just like improvement in anybody's case. However, if you are interested, I'm still doing it. I'd still love to do it, so I will leave my email in the description if you guys want to contact me. And maybe you want to talk about this video and what's going on in this workflow, because it might be harder to understand than my commentary can give. But if you ask the right questions, I'm sure I can answer them. Yeah, I will be doing the oven side more, as like I said, this is a new location, and I kind of just wanted to perfect the pizza workflow and see what oven guys would do as far as an oven workflow, and give them my 2 cents when it mattered. But now the guys that were doing ovens, I'm going to start letting them shine on the pizza station. I'm not talking about Bronx Johnny, he's better than I am, but the other guys who do ovens for the most part. Give them a shot on pizza, and I'm going to work ovens where I can see how they're topping the pizzas and cheesing and saucing them, and how they're launching the pizzas into the oven, how they're going about timing orders. Let's say you have a calzone and a pizza, making sure they get the calzone in first because it takes longer, and then the pizza, so that the order comes out together. Because there's nothing more stressful for an oven guy when he just has a bunch of half orders and has to put them all together afterward. And just how they go about their flow, how they clean things, how they stock up their station for themselves, whether they're overdoing it and things are going bad, or they're not doing enough and they have to 86 things in the middle of a dinner rush, which is very unprofessional, and there's almost always no reason to do that. Of course, when it can be avoided, exceptions would be like holiday weeks where you can't get something on the truck that you would like to, natural disasters that screw up logistics and things like that. But bottom line, it should be because you can't get a product to sell, not because you can't prep a product to sell that you do in fact have. But yeah, I do enjoy doing ovens. It's a lot less manual labor. It's maybe more mental, just putting things together and remembering to go back to the oven. It's very easy to walk away and burn things, so I try to stay in the station and maybe wipe something down or something that doesn't bring me too far away from the station. I don't get into any crazy conversations, because that burning one pizza could be the start of a horrific night if you're not careful. Just gotta stay on your P's and Q's, basically. And another beautiful pizza from Johnny here. But yeah, that's what I call the bump system. More so where the orders just digitally pop up, and once you complete it, you bump it, and then you'll go to the oven screen, and once the oven person put it on a plate or in a box, then it's bumped and it's complete. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Looks like the last wave. Looks like the last of them are coming out. So I just gotta see what's going on between the orders that I have. It looks like I got a pizza or two that I need to take out first, and then I should be able to get the rest of the Detroits out within my little window before I burn them. But that's another reason I take the par bakes out as early as I can, just giving me kind of a margin of error in case I am a minute late. And for anybody asking me like how long a pizza cooks, I don't think I know I have, but I don't remember the times for temperatures in different ovens. It's all somewhere around 8 minutes at the temperature we cook at, which is 482 degrees Fahrenheit or 250 Celsius. But I'm never using a timer. I kind of calculate time by tasks getting done. For instance, I could look at the screen and say, hey, I got enough time to grab 4 or 5 boxes, you know, and once I grab those 4 or 5 boxes, I got my next pizza coming out. Or let's say, oh, I can go stretch 4 or 5 large doughs for the pizza guy, and then I know a pizza's coming out. In this case, I can grab a few par bakes before a pizza's done, you know. Look at that, it's a beautiful cheese pie. So yeah, I think this is a Sunday and it's not really like the dinner rush yet, but definitely running around a little bit between these Detroits and these orders. It is nice getting the Detroits out of the way so then we can just focus on the orders and then it's smooth sailing. Cardboard of some kind, or paper at least, like the insert in the box there, those are pretty crucial for selling food. This is the first place I've worked where that was kind of a thing. Like when the counter girls are folding boxes, they're putting inserts in all the boxes, and whenever I sell a dine-in, I'm putting a cardboard circle. There's 16-inch and 12-inch for our two sizes on a metal pan when we serve it. And if you guys don't know, but wood, cardboard, and paper kind of stop the pie from getting soggy in the middle and keeping it crispy. So anybody who's not using cardboard under the pizza or paper or something that can absorb moisture, you are setting yourself up maybe for worse reviews. Something more than just a simple wax paper, something that really will absorb the moisture. The one in the boxes are from a company called Perfect Crust, but there are plenty of options. Just bottom line, don't have it directly on metal and have something between the cardboard of the actual box and the pizza. It just helps keep the integrity of the pizza better for longer, which makes your customers happy, and it does taste better, the texture's better, it's not such a sloppy, goopy mess. But yeah, it looks like I got the rest of these to finish up real quick. About 8 of them. I also yell hot when I come around so they know not to get burnt. We have really good communication. For instance, if they're coming in the oven, they'll be like, hey, coming in. And I'll step off to the side so they can throw it in. Or they'll say, hey, keep it open, because maybe they're going to throw another pizza in right behind that first one. But in any kitchen, communication is key. Letting them know your next move so that you don't get burnt, you don't get cut, you don't get slammed. There's a lot of hot and sharp things in the kitchen. And it's very important to minimize accidents, and that happens pretty much solely from communication. And here we are coming to the end of these. Yeah, if you remember, I didn't spray the pan at all, and you can see they just fall right out of the pan. So I don't want to mess with the finish that's on the Lloyd's pan by adding any other kind of oil, and I've done that in the past and saw a degrading